What's poppin', y'all? Yachty recently had a song with J. Cole called The Secret Recipe. I'm not gonna lie, I felt like Yachty ruined that song. It just felt like the flow of it wasn't going as well. The reason I laughed is because people are saying I'm a Yachty hater now, which is crazy because I was giving Yachty props for his comeback like a year and a half ago before he dropped that Let's Start Here. I didn't mess with that album. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just mid, all right? Like actual mid, not how everyone throws around mid. So they just had a song together, which was a surprising feature. Although it doesn't feel as surprising as it would have felt a year ago. It feels like Yachty can get any feature now. Let me not babble on. So recently he did a podcast with Lil Yachty. J. Cole was talking for a minute on there. I didn't listen to the whole thing yet, but I did see this one clip. And I'm going to play it for you guys, and it's on how he compares rappers. And I found this funny, and I found this unintentionally insulting.
Hip-hop is really more like track and field. It's not like basketball. There's so many events within. We both can be track and field athletes, and we do not possess the same skill set at all. How I view you is, it's like you came in the game as a shot put nigga or whatever track and field thing, right? That was your thing. Played when you were 16, that was the event that you came in the track and field running.
So J. Cole basically says, hey, there's certain people that come and they're shot putters or they're hammer throwers or they're discus or they're pole vaults. The problem with this comparison is that, and I get where he's trying to say, like some people start off with a certain skill set and then they move into a different skill set. I disagree that lyricism or like the basics is the 100 meter, 200 meter. Granted, people only watch the 100 meter, 200 meter is because their attention span is super low. That's why. They don't have the attention span. The other races are actually far more interesting because they can be tactical, like 800 meters plus. 100 meters, man, other than it's basically getting out the blocks, and that's it. That's like the skill involved. Otherwise, it's just like straight up, genetic training, etc. There's no time to make tactical plays, whether it's like, hey, I'm going to pace this race. Hey, I'm just going to hold off and I'm going to stay behind for the first 2 laps. Then the 3rd lap, I'm going to try to catch up a little bit. And then the 4th lap, I'm going to sit behind the first person and then outkick them because I know that I'm going to have more gas in my tank and I'm a better sprinter than this person. So if I conserve my energy and I make this race slow, then I have a far higher likelihood of winning. You can't really do that in shorter races. But the average layman that isn't into these types of sports isn't going to think that far. Circling back, I'm nerding out too much on track and field. Shot put, discus, all of these events, the layman, average person, they don't even know, they can't name a single person from any of them. And that's the problem. When Yachty came out, everyone knew who Lil Yachty was. Now, many people might have been making fun of him, but they still knew who he was. But you can't name any people that do field events like that. I mean, track in general, people won't really name people. They could recognize some. Now, if you talk about pole vault and stuff like that, or the jumps, people are going to be able to name or recognize that one girl that is always on your YouTube feed. This is like a thing that they've been doing, that she's just showing us. I think she's a Spanish jumper, like Fatima Diallo or something like that. So that's the only time. It's going to be a female one, not a male one, that people might know the name of. I think a better comparison, and this is why I think it's a poor comparison. Let me not go to what I think is a better comparison yet. The reason why I think it's a poor comparison is that these people are lit. Yachty was lit. Now, he shifted and moved somewhere else, and I would say he's more lit than he's ever been, but he didn't come in as a shot putter because everybody knew him. Lil Uzi Vert didn't come in as a discus thrower. Now, he had a different skill set, but I don't think that equates. I think that's a worse comparison because it's kind of saying like, oh yeah, you're a nobody. You got to gauge to where I think it's more seasonal or burst. So let's say we throw it back to basketball, right? Which may not be the best sport to compare it to, but it's like, yo, you're trying to compare music to sports. It's already difficult. They have seasons, I would say, or maybe bursts. So Yachty was probably like a Jeremy Lin, right? Lin Sanity, if you guys remember when that happened, that was electrifying when it was going on. But I knew that was coming to an end. I mean, it's just because I was a huge Kobe supporter. I was like, man, get the hell out of here. This thing is not going to last for long. But it was a huge hype. And that's kind of like Lil Yachty, where people see someone that may not be that good, but everyone's eyes are on them, and then they're having like a crazy streak, and people are like, whoa, this is going to be him. Like, this is going to be the next guy. And then they kind of just fizzle out. Now, Yachty came back, and that's where sports differ, I would say, from music, in that people can reinvent themselves. In sports, it's so much more difficult to reinvent yourself because you're limited by your genetics. Like if you're 6 foot, right? 6'1" in the NBA, that's already like a surprise. Like, damn, like you're excellent skills wise. But your particular skill set to transfer that or change that at the highest level, dude, you're not going to reinvent yourself. And then there's injuries and all of that stuff. So I think the seasonal aspect, or the quick burst makes more sense. And calling people that do stuff like that, like kind of like discus throwers, hammer throwers, whatever, I understand the comparison from a skill standpoint, where it's like, hey, this guy does this other thing. Maybe he does melodies, or maybe this guy, he does, I don't know, he's got different flows, and I've got the lyrics. But all eyes are kind of on the person that's not doing the lyrics right now. If we look at the hottest rappers of this past year, we've got Ice Spice, we've got Sexy Red, maybe Glorilla towards the latter half of last year, or I mean, she's on the cutoff. And we've got, I said Ice Spice already. Who's the male that we've got? Do we even have a male? I'm missing a female. I know that for sure. Whatever. We've just got a couple of those, right? None of them are lyrical. Not a single one of them. Yet they're being paid attention to the most. So what's going on? Are they the 100 meters now? Like, show me some guy that's going to the basics, that's got the basics handled, right? And he's somewhat lyrical, but still able to juggle everything, that's not only blowing up, but being at the top of the game and everyone is paying attention to him now. You can't name me a single one. And Cole will say, like people that got the skill set I do, they're always going to be a staple. No, you, Cole, are always going to be a staple because you, Drake, Kendrick, and these other artists, even the people that came before you like Busta Rhymes, you guys developed your names and your catalog in an age where that was the 100 meter, 200 meter, and everyone was focused on that, and people respected and valued that. That's something that people aren't respecting and valuing as much as they used to back then. So the only people that are at the top that are exhibiting that skill set are the ones that already made it way back and have an established name. I don't see anybody new that's killing it at that level with that skill set that we're claiming is so fundamental and pretty much like we shouldn't be able to do without it, yet people are. Let's just take a look at it. Like, who on the charts that, let's say, has blown up in the past 5 years has actually got a pen like that? I'm not saying songwriting, because Rod Wave is all up on the charts this past week. Rod Wave, I would say, is a good songwriter, and he can probably rap here and there, but he's not somebody that we're like, yo, he's got the pen. Like, he's dropping bars. I would say Jack Harlow is maybe the last guy that was able to do that, but Jack Harlow was able to weave it in perfectly with not just his persona, which he's like a charismatic, cool guy, but on top of that, he dropped good choruses and good hits and was able to simplify it to a level to which the average person wouldn't feel like they were missing anything, and they wouldn't feel like they had to dig a layer deeper. Yet the people that did want to dig a layer deeper, they would have songs from Jack Harlow where they could do that, or they could do that on his regular songs, but it wasn't necessary to enjoy the song. So that's something that Jack Harlow did, I would say, but Jack Harlow isn't really bumping on the charts right now. I don't think Jack Harlow fell off. I think he just had to regroup. And that last album that he dropped was fire too. But that goes back to my point. The last album that he dropped was Heat. It was a good comeback from the previous album, yet it didn't do as well because he exhibited strong fundamentals and showed that, like, yo, I'm here, I'm spitting, I'm here to stay. Like, show me my respect. And I think he got his respect, but he didn't. He had to do that at the sacrifice of a popular hit song to carry him for another year, because that's pretty much what these guys need. If you're in the game right now, you always need at least one hit that's popping right now or that's going to pop, so it can carry you and your popularity. Because if you're gone for a year, people are like, yo, that guy fell off, when the timeline's just moving quicker and quicker. But let me know what y'all think about this comparison and kind of like how I came at it. If you think there's any other good sports comparisons or just comparisons to any other field, lay that out for me in the comments. I read pretty much every single comment. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.